afternoon everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to make basic wood material in Blender. This is the final result. So open up my studio scene setup file which you can find in the description below. You don't have to download this, but if you don't know how to UV unwrap or model, so if you don't know these things, you should download this because you will need these things in this tutorial. Split this screen into half. Shift F3 to make this node editor, and Shift Z to make this a render preview so we can actually see what we are doing. Now the first thing that we want to add is image texture for our wood that you can download from the description below too. I promise this is the last thing that you have to download. So Shift A, T I for image texture node. Open up my image that you downloaded and plug this color output into the color input of the diffuse BSDF, and now we can start to get a color that looks something like wood but is so ugly that you can't tell that that's wood. And first thing that we want to do with it is actually stretch it out, because now it looks like something that doesn't look like wood. So what we want to do is add a texture coordinate node from input no part of the adding menu. And this is the node that actually tells the image texture, well, how does it have to be projected on the model. So generated is generated, obviously. It works on every material, but it's usually bad. Well, another thing that you may want to know that's pretty simple to understand is reflection and window. Window is basically like projection of the image no matter how you're looking at it. So this is pretty, sometimes this is pretty useful in VFX. But that's not what we are talking about today. So UV is manual, and the UV is, this object already has a UV, so basically just use the UV. And this you may see there's no difference right now, but when you want to change the scaling, this is actually, if you don't connect anything to it, this is UV by default. But you have to connect this first in order to scale it, and for scaling it you have to go to vector and mapping. So VM, Shift A VM for adding this, and I found you can adjust the scale right here. Scale everything and make it look even more not like wood. But what I found works fine here is 3, 1.5, and 1. And I like this. If you don't like this, if you don't like that, you can set it up whatever you like. But I like this. You may find them thin or something, but I like them thin. So yeah. Now this is, I know, bad. So what you want to do is add a little shine on it. So Shift A HM to add the mix shader that you use everywhere, and connect a glossy node into it. Shift A HG for a glossy. So BSDF connected into the shader, and now we can get some nothing like wood still thing that looks like metal with wood texture on it. But the thing that we make it look like wood is actually make it shiny at those lighter areas and not shiny at darker areas. So basically never lazy time when not going to another application to create a specular map, just adding, well, the way you be lazy when you need a specular map is go to color and brightness and contrast, connect your image into the color right here, and connect the color into the factor. Now you should just play with these values. And just make this 2 and that 1. I found this works fine for me, but this looks like old wood now. It looks better, but still look bad. So okay, so I like it warm. So if you make it, I don't know, like orangish color, it's warm color, so obviously, you know, so I like this, but I still want some, I don't know, like reflections that actually look like, I don't know, like the things that are there for reflecting, and not reflecting everything orange. So what you do instead is actually mix 2 glossies into 1 mix shader. So Shift AHM to add a mix shader, Shift AHG to add a glossy, and connect that to shader, and you get these 2 things mixed. Now I want it to be more warm, so 0.3 for here, so 70% of it is glossy, and make the redness 0.1, so it's a little more like mirror, but it's still blurred. Yeah. So now what? Actually, this is basically finished, but if you're, I don't know, being stupid and and don't want to make realistic things, but I know I found that little bump on every edge looks good for me. Well, if you're going for realism and you want to make some ground or something, don't do this. But if you go to vector bump, you can and color, connect the color into weight, height. Wait. Okay, that's 1 letter difference. Never knew. Okay, into height, and connect the normal into normal of your diffuse, and normal into your normal of those glossy BSDFs. And okay, this is a little too high right now. So make the strength, I don't know, 0.4 maybe. Yeah, that looks good for me. It's like a lot of detail and stuff, you know, I like that, but that doesn't look realistic. But yeah, that's another thing that you can use with some other textures. So with some other textures that actually would work pretty fine, but right here it's not the thing that you may want to add. So yeah, just keep it how it was. And yeah, so basically this is the wood material that I wanted to show you how to make right here. Hope you like it. This is pretty simple. Keep watching my tutorials. And I'll probably upload more soon. So yeah, so basically that's about it. So thanks for watching. See you later.